Hello, all you tiny, beautiful people out there that live in the confines of my computer. My name is Finn, and I want to start this video by saying I apologize if my voice is shaky or if it cracks a lot or whatever. I'm feeling pretty sick. Besides that, let's get into it. Today I want to talk about the fact that I'm making a comic book, and I'm very excited about it. A few months ago I made a video that was titled I'm Making a Comic Book, I think, and I spent like 10 minutes just stating, hey, I'm making a comic book, and I don't have details to give. Well, a few months have passed, and I've got a lot more details, so I can talk about some stuff. I'm not going to talk about everything, because, I don't want to spoil the thing I'm making, nor do I want to give away so much information that somebody could take the idea or anything crazy. Not that I think I'm some genius who needs their idea stolen in the first place. Just stating that that's a thing that can happen. It is the internet. Long story short, back in August-ish, September, I met a guy on a random chatting site, and we started talking about random bullshit. We talked about games, we talked about movies, we talked about blah, 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 blah. Then we got to the point where I was talking about YouTube. I was talking about the pitches that I've done, mostly for Spider-Man, but those pitches I've done every once in a while. And that led to him asking me why I hadn't tried to actually make something. If I'm so into doing that, why haven't I done that? Which is a valid question. And one that I sort of teetered around the idea of asking myself a lot, but never really had the ability to answer that question, much less do something about it. He told me I should look into it, and I thought about it, and blah, 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 blah. And it turns out he's currently in school for doing that stuff, specifically the artistic side of it, and the illustrations, and the ink work, and all that. And he's a tremendous artist. Hi, if you're watching this, hello. And I deeply, 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 deeply appreciate the fire under my ass that's been lit by him. And I am excited to work with him. But he's currently in college doing artsy garbo. But mostly art that has to do with comics, because that's what he wants to do with his life. Specifically. Not just art. Comic art. And he was like, well, I'm an artist. And I was like, that's a crazy way to pitch that, but okay. And then it kind of just spiraled. It went, and I'd say a week later, I had a list of just a shitload of ideas I had, and I was narrowing them down, chopping this one off, taking bitch from this one to put on this one. There was a point where I had 50 that were fairly detailed ideas. And then I was just like, what do I want about this one? Okay, I don't need this part, take it out. And I did that for a while. Another couple days passed, and then I came down to 3. And then I got on call with Amit and Beans, my best friend. And we yapped. Time passed. And I narrowed it down to what I wanted. Something that was a bit more gritty, something noir, something built in a detective space. And that's sort of where my brain went. And then I was like, I wanted to have some quirky comic bullshit, because comic books are full of quirky comic bullshit. And I came up with the idea of the main character getting glimpses of his own death, but they're always different, and they're never accurate. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So I used that, and I built some ideas, built some characters. I have so many notes. Holy shit, do I have some notes. I have so many notes. So I'm not gonna show you guys all the literal details, because I don't want people to have them. But here's a bunch of notes. And then let's open this up and then go here. Cover that bit. here's a bunch of notes. And then, down here, here's a bunch of notes. And then, here's one of the multiple old comic idea sheets. Oh, where'd it go? Here's one of the multiple, because I had a shitload. And that's just the notes that I have on my phone. I also have a Google Doc, I have a Google Doc folder with a bunch of Google Doc links. So it's like, oh, this character and their info, this character and their info, the setting, information about, when it takes place, where it takes place, what inspirations are there, things like that. So much so that I made my little laptop crash because I had way too much shit. I had too much shit up there. So, I'm working on that, and I'm able to comment on it more now because I have information I can talk about. Currently, my illustrator, hi buddy, is busy. He's finishing up his year of school because, school's rough. But come summertime, it's time to no longer be in the theory process of we're going to make something and actually make it. Throughout the summer, I will be genuinely writing and somewhat directing this comic. I will be writing, I'll be directing, I'll be pacing a bunch of shit. I'll have to learn a lot. But I will also be working with one of the most talented individuals I've ever seen. So I'm very excited about that. And then he has a lead that is almost certain of a publishing ability. So that would be very helpful. The TLDR is I'm making a comic, but it's no longer a theory, really. It's no longer, oh, I'm making one. It's no, I'm actually currently, literally tomorrow, gonna be in the process of writing it, which is super fucking cool and blows me the fuck away and makes me feel so many things, all of which are positive, except for the dread and fear of failure, but those aren't real. I'm so very excited about all of that, and a lot of the stuff I've done on this channel, especially the bigger stuff, right, is kind of, I don't know what the term would be, but it's been used in a way that has been me teaching myself and learning and whatnot. And a lot of it's just creative writing. A whole lot of it. All of the old wrestling booking stuff, all of the Spider-Man videos, all of the stuff about me making a DCU, me making an MCU, me doing X, Y, and Z. It's all creative writing, and it's all been preparing me for this opportunity, which is so insane that I have in the first place. I am thoroughly blown away by the fact that any of this is happening. I'm eternally grateful to Axel, my buddy, who's the one helping with all the comic stuff. I'm incredibly grateful to my lovely girlfriend for helping me whenever I need to talk about it or rant or whatever. My buddy old Imogen Beach for being able to help me whenever I need someone to bounce ideas off of. And I also want to express an incredible amount of gratitude to you guys, because without your time, without your support, without your efforts, without your help with everything on this channel, without the growth that you've given me, without you guys watching these creative writing training bits, and without you guys doing all that, I wouldn't be as confident as I am. I wouldn't have the practice I have. I wouldn't have the notes from you guys. I wouldn't be where I am, and I probably wouldn't have had the social confidence to communicate with somebody about all of that stuff and get to the point that I'm at now where I'm able to work on it. This is one of the greatest opportunities I've ever had. It is something I'm incredibly interested in and incredibly passionate about, and it's kind of my dream, and I'm so very excited to attempt and try to do it, to grow, to make something beautiful that I genuinely am super happy about making, and I'm just so excited. I won't give too many details about it, but I can comment a little bit. I'll talk about my main character. I'll talk about him, because I gave his name in the old video, but I didn't have too much else to say about him. A, because I didn't have a lot of it ready to be talked about, and B, I kind of didn't feel comfortable communicating about it too much. But now I'm going to give you guys the cliff notes. I'm obviously not going to give you every single thing. I'm not going to be giving you like all of the details, but I am going to run through like this specific page of notes about him. So if you're interested, stick around, whatever. Character's name is Vincent Moretti. It's Moretti, but there's a C in there. Some people pronounce it Moretti, some pronounce it Morsetti. Specifically, it's supposed to be like, it's pronounced Moretti, but then people pronounce it Morsetti because it's spelled that way. It's an in-universe bit. He's 29. He's a private investigator. Well, sometimes. Sometimes he's a detective, sometimes he's a private investigator. It depends on the way the story goes. There's a chance that one of those is cut completely out, one of those stays. I don't know yet. I'm not done writing it, okay? He's currently off again in his on-again, off-again relationship with one Rita Bankert, Bankart. He has some dirty blonde, maybe a little bit of strawberry in there, depending on lighting hair. I couldn't find a name for the hairstyle, but Robert fucking Pattinson. It just like always labels like a short male hair, but then short male hair is like buzz cuts, and then like the quof, whatever it's called. So that is not what I was looking for, but you get it. I have a picture of what I expect him to look like. I might be able to make that the thumbnail. I'll see what I can do. He has very light blonde facial hair, early stubble. Proof that he's not cleaning his like facial hair, like he's not like shaving it off, but he's not like actively trying to grow anything. Or maybe he just can't. He has dark violet eyes and pale skin with lots of scarring, but not like crazy heavily scarring. Like, he doesn't have like a giant slash through his face. He just has like little bumps, little bruises, broken nose that never quite healed correctly. He's of Italian and Jewish descent. He's 5'9". He has a bit of a swimmer's body, but a little broad in the shoulders. Typically clothed with a large dark brown, almost green trench coat that is just about an inch above his knee. A brown lounge suit with black accents. It's not exactly worn correctly. The jacket isn't buttoned, or the undershirt isn't exactly tucked in. He's wearing the formal clothing, but he's not wearing it in the formal fashion. He's not wearing it correctly. He's trying, Fundamentally hopeful and well-intentioned while being haunted by experience. Realistic but compassionate. A hopeful realist. Someone who's gone through enough to expect it, but someone who believes in something better. I don't know what the expected part is. I'll have to redo these. I wrote this a long time ago. This is like 3 months old. Which is why I'm more comfortable sharing this info, because it doesn't feel like I'm going to harm my ability to surprise people, because it's not super detailed and it's not super structured. I don't know where to label this, but Vincent is a smoker. So yeah, the imagery of smoking is going to be fairly impactful throughout the story. So there's the note of that. Backstory time. Vincent was born in Charcoal Falls. His parents, Marie and Bill, weren't exactly the safest home. Bill was verbally abusive, and Marie was just scared to death of everything. Everyone in town referred to her as the local schizo. I use that term not to be disrespectful to anybody who actually has schizophrenia, but more so to express the amount of disrespect and lack of care from the people around her. Similar to when a film uses a slur in a way that is diminutive or dismissive. Film uses a slur in a way that is disrespectful and dismissive of the people it would be used against, but it's used specifically in the facets of the story and used to highlight that these people aren't the good guys, that sort of thing. Vincent had one escape, his older sister, Aurelia. She was gentle, caring, intelligent, and deserved better than anything that she had. And unlike everyone else in Vincent's life, she showed love and want for his life to be better. Just after his 12th birthday, he never saw her again. Everyone around him just sorta acted like she never existed, except his mother, who believed wholeheartedly it had been her deadbeat husband. Vincent did some digging and found every single bit of information he could, but he wasn't any closer to finding out what happened. Later in life, he moved to the city of Siena, also nicknamed the City of Life. But good luck telling anyone who lives there that. Vincent climbed the career ladder over the past decade to be the state's best detective. On a day almost randomly, Vincent wakes up from a horrific nightmare in which he died from a fall. Later in the day, Vincent's on top of a skyscraper and he stumbles, but doesn't fall. He chalks it up to luck and coincidence, but this instance reoccurs. It continues to happen every single day. He sees himself die, gets himself into the situation where that could happen, but it doesn't. He doesn't know why or how or anything else about it, but he does know he can use this to his advantage to help more people, and that's just what he plans to do. And that's some of that's old. Some of that information would be not wrong, but slightly off. Like the detective versus private investigator thing. I think I might just take the private investigator part of it out. I don't really know yet. Stuff like that. So that is the cliff notes on Vincent Morsetti, depending on how you want to say it. Because canonically, it's like people pronounce it wrong. So you're not pronouncing it wrong if you say Morsetti. But I am... That's my info on that character. I have a lot more shit. I don't know if you saw me scrolling through the notes and then all the stuff on the computer. I got more. But for now, that's what I'm comfortable giving out. That's what I'm comfortable sharing. I'm quite excited. Quite. Let me see if I can... One moment. Allow me to check this real quick. As long as it's not going to break by any means. Hopefully I can still record while opening this. Maybe. Ruh-roh. I'd hope it does. Let me... Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh. That's a problem. That's a problem. Ruh-roh. It's breaking, chat. Chat, it's breaking. Chat. Oh dear Lord, this is bad. It's all breaking. It's breaking. Okay, hold up. I need to pause the video so that my computer doesn't explode. Due to the fact that I don't currently have distinct legal ownership over the name that I've chosen, I can get it. I just have to remember to do that soon. Well, not soon. I don't have to do it right this second or anything, but I need to remember to do that before I talk about it too much. So I'm not going to be giving away the name of the comic due to the fact that I don't have ownership of that quite yet. But I can say it has to do with Violet. That's all I'm going to say, because I feel just narrowly uncomfortable giving that part out. I can say one that we didn't go with. We didn't go with Violet Hour, or The Violet Hour. We didn't go with that. We almost did. We chose not to. Mostly because there's a bunch of stuff already labeled as that. Like, whenever you look that up, there's already, like, a book. It's not a comic, but it is a book. So I felt like not dealing with, even if it's, like, not legally distinct or whatever, and there's not, like, a back and forth, like, lawsuit or anything. I don't like the idea of being the same name as something else. Even without that, it feels weird. It feels like piggybacking, and I don't want to do that. But it has to do with Violet. So, you know, I'm making a comic book, and I'm just quite excited about it. I'm just so very excited. See if I can get the little sketch that he made about the character. See if I can get that. Media. Let me see if I can get this to load. I'll need it to work out for me. If it would. Oh, but if it would. If it would and if it could. This isn't the greatest picture of the image, mostly due to the fact that it's sketched onto a piece of paper and then taken a picture with a phone and then sent through Discord and da-da-da-da-da. So it's not the best looking photo, but the art in it is fucking tremendous. And I'll try to see if I can get it to fit as the thumbnail. I know sometimes the YouTube thumbnail system is really stupid and won't let you do certain pictures and stuff. But here's my son, my little baby man, Vincent. That's my little guy. This image is obviously not done. This version of it, somewhere it is. But like you can see that like there's still certain lines and stuff that shouldn't be visible, blah 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 blah. And there's a bunch of notes up there, including the idea of him having a broken nose. Shout out to Axel for coming up with that, because he's a tremendous creative mind and a great artist. But yes, for now, that's what I have for you. I want to express gratitude for you being here. I want to express gratitude for your listening, caring, commenting, liking, subscribing. Let's get to 1,000 subs. We're this fucking close. I appreciate and adore you guys, and I hope you have a tremendous day, a tremendous weekend. I love you guys. Check out the Discord in the description, and bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye.